Greetings, I'm John Chris, and these are the headlines.
Sarawak to follow federal government's move on RMCO extension. Malaysia will not bow to claims for Sabah. Chadwick Boseman dies of cancer at 43.
Sarawak will be following the federal government's decision to extend the Recovery Movement Control Order, RMCO, to December 31st. According to Chief Minister Datuk Patinggi Abang Johari Tun Openg, the goal of the RMCO is to recover and curb the COVID-19 pandemic from spreading in the country.
It's national, but it's a relaxed one lah kan. Pemulihan, recovery. Itu cukup okay lah, but we cannot take things for granted. As you know, even New Zealand come back. Every person. Okay.
He told this to reporters after officiating at the Sarawak Women's Day 2020 celebration at the Borneo Convention Centre Kuching, BCCK, this afternoon. The current RMCO was originally slated to end on August 31st, but is extended to December 31 following Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin's announcement on Friday.
The government has decided to extend the Recovery Movement Control Order to December 31st, as the COVID-19 shows no sign of slowing down. The extension would serve as a reminder for public to not become complacent and adhere to the standard operating procedures SOPs as the new norm is here to stay. Positive response on the extension was gathered from the ground following the announcement made by the Prime Minister on Friday.
It is a wise move by the government towards the extension of the RMCO until end of December 2020, and to me there is nothing much to be worried of because we are actually adapting towards a new norm of life since a few months back, and even though there is an extension of the RMCO, there is a good news for the Sarawakian as there is no need for them to go through the quarantine after they are coming back from West Malaysia or Sabah. And yeah, let us together just follow the SOP and kickstart the economy.
Okay, personally for me, I feel it's a wise movement for the government to extend the RMCO until the end of the year because it is important for us as Malaysians to consider the seriousness of the global pandemic that has impacted us not only locally but also internationally. So I feel that given that the government has made a move to extend the RMCO, it shows us that the level of seriousness of curbing and controlling the pandemic here has come to a realization that we must still adhere to the standard operating procedures regardless of the seriousness of the matter.
I personally think that this is a good thing. The government extend the RMCO till the end of the year. The virus has no end in sight, yet so the extension and the SOP put in place would at least minimize the spread between the community.
Minister of Welfare, Community, Wellbeing, Women, Family and Childhood Development, Dato Sri Haja Fatimah Abdullah, urges women to take advantage of the digital revolution as it holds a vast opportunity to further contribute to the state's development.
Fatimah said this is in line with Chief Minister Datuk Patinggi Abang Johari Tun Openg's aspirations to use the digital platform as the catalyst for economic development.
Teknologi maklumat boleh memperkasa dan mengupayakan wanita untuk menjadi warga yang wajar, dinamik dan tabah dalam menghadapi cabaran hidup. All of us in Sarawak now fully acknowledge the fact that digital economy is the leading catalyst in sustaining a nation's economy globally.
Fatimah added her ministry will collaborate with Sarawak Multimedia Authority SMA to introduce the iSarawak Care platform, a helpline to facilitate communication between the people and the ministry.
our ministry is planning to embark on a comprehensive digital transformation journey in line with the electronic government initiatives to improve our service delivery and to reach out to more Sarawakians. This initiative will integrate all our ministry services, past and new, onto one platform known as iSarawak Care. This platform will provide easy access to the rakyat to communicate with us and apply the relevant assistance required anytime and anywhere. I can assure you, sir, this initiative will make our services closer to the rakyat, merakyatkan kebajikan demi kesejahteraan rakyat. It will be welcomed by our people.
Meanwhile, Dato' Nurhaiti Ismail, the recipient of the Chief Minister's Women Leadership Award, said she herself is striving to spread the knowledge of digitalization to the community.
Di bawah SMA, Digital Transformation Project itu adalah untuk kita menyebarkan informasi mengenai digitalization khusus di komuniti. Jadi kita ada beberapa projek yang kita telah laksanakan dengan pelbagai agencies seperti perpustakaan, dengan Azam, grup dengan radio, televisyen dan juga newspaper. Kita bergabung untuk macam mana kita nak menyampaikan maklumat ini digital secara jadi saya yang diminta untuk to lead this team. Alhamdulillah lah, dalam masa 2 tahun tu 19-17 kan kita.
At the same time, Dato' Sri Rohani Abdul Karim, the recipient of the Dato' Patinggi Laila Taib Award, urges all women in Malaysia to seize every opportunity and improve their productivity in the digital era.
Come forward, jangan takut. You must be confident all the time. Sebab saya selalu madah sebenarnya wanita, especially digital era. Kita sebenarnya ada skill, tapi ada orang si berani nak mencuba diri. They don't dare. Tapi syukur alhamdulillah dia ada bantu COVID tu. Dengan secara terpaksa. Oleh kerana sama-sama nak menyara kehidupan. So walaupun masa pandemik COVID, dalam masa kesusahan, pada masa ialah sebenarnya keupayaan wanita sebenarnya boleh dilonjak. Sometimes ngasih tahu. Tetapi oleh kerana keadaan mendesak demi keluarga, selalu kita buat it's for the family.
You may or may not have realized that discarded face masks are not properly disposed of, cluttering streets and sidewalks, causing eyesore apart from posing public risk. Ruben Gomez has the details.
Public are urged to properly dispose their face masks, as there have been reports increase in face masks left as a litter at public places. Kuching South City Council MBK's Mayor Dato' Wee Hong Sang advised the public that single-use face masks are regarded as a potential clinical hazard and should be disposed of properly, and that usually means taking them home.
Okay, which I think whatever it is, you put your mask in your house, you get into your car, after you have done your shopping or you have been to anywhere, get into your car, fold the thing and then bring it to your own house and throw in your dustbin. Don't throw it on the floor. That's what we have been advising people.
He added that if such action were to be caught by the council, the offender will serve off a 2,000 ringgit fine under the local authorities' ordinance cleanliness bylaws.
Oh yes, because this is throwing of rubbish, you will be penalized at least 2,000. Don't play. Throwing of rubbish is an offence. Yeah, so I mean, this is under the cleanliness bylaw, of which we hope everybody, we don't want to penalize anyone, but if we really have to, then we have to lah.
According to Ministry of Health recommendations, the face masks are supposed to be folded it and wrapped it in a small plastic bag or tissue and then dispose it in a closed lid bin. This guideline is to reduce the potential health risk to the public.
Okay, to be honest, it's a responsibility of everyone because, you know, when you throw away your face mask just like that, so in an open area, it first will give an impact to our environment, and secondly, it causes a lot of damages into our health because we don't know from the symptoms itself, from the COVID-19, if someone have the symptoms and they throw away just like that, it might be infected other people too. So our responsibility, even though it can't be used or it's dirty, the face mask, we need to bring it home and dispose it wisely.
For me, it's always a good habit to bring recycled bags or boxes designated to throw these used face masks. If not, there are always recyclable cloth face masks as an option. You never know when you're starting the next cluster just by being irresponsible.
I'm more worried on the education part, where people are still simply throwing away, dumping face masks in public areas without the proper steps, which is by folding it first and then covering it with a tissue or a plastic and then throwing it into a bin. We should always throw our trash in the bin. We don't simply throw it at the side of the road because it's unethical for us, because we know that we have a responsibility to keep our city clean and also to make sure that everyone is safe and always free from any sort of viruses. So,
therefore, there is an urgency to educate the public about proper ways to dispose of face masks correctly in the wake of the surge in the mask-based rubbish. As those discarded face masks, which creates not only health risk but also serious environmental hazard, it's a good practice to wear face masks in public as protection measure and effort to curb the virus from spreading. So thank you. Just don't throw it on the ground.
Moving on to COVID-19 updates. One new positive COVID-19 cases has been reported today in Kuching, bringing the total in Sarawak to 698.
The statement issued by State Disaster Management Committee (SDMC) said this latest case involves a local woman aged 48. The case was detected through a swab test on August 28, conducted as part of pre-surgery screening. Lab test results found the swabs to be positive for the virus on August 29, with symptoms showing since August 14. There was also no new recovery and discharge cases recorded today. However, 2 new PUIs were detected, with 17 cases still being treated at hospital isolation wards. With no deaths reported in the state, the death toll remains at 19. The remaining alarm cluster in Bintulu is still active, with 7 cases in total.
Nearly 2,000 of the Kenyalang gold cards were successfully distributed in Serembu constituency. Its Assemblyman Miro Simu said this is only the first stage, as the application were about 7,000.
Setakat yang mengikut kita punya pejabat lah, daripada rekod pejabat kita, setakat ini kita ada hantar dalam 7,000 lebih permohonan untuk kawasan Dun Serembu lah, termasuk orang-orang tua dan sebagainya. Ya, 7,000 lebih. Dan kita haraplah dapat masa ni yang kita dapat tadi pun baru dalam dekat 2,000, 1,900 lebih. Dan banyak lagi yang belum diproses. Dan kita berharap dalam masa terdekat ni lah pihak Kementerian Kebajikan akan mula memproses dan sebagainya. Dan saya rasa orang tua di kampung pun mula bertanya, mana kad saya, mana kad saya. Tapi bila kita sudah dapat kad ini, kita akan terus arahkan ke ketua kampung untuk edarkan ke kampung masing-masing.
Its recipients noted that the card is a privilege for the elderly, especially on medical.
Bagi aku kad kenyalang Go Card adalah satu daripada keistimewaan dia untuk yang di umur 60 tahun ke atas. Memang bagus kad bagi MT. Atau teban kad ataupun teban pengomar atau gunakan kad untuk milih barang, mungkin lagi diskaun dinginnya ada tu. Ini lagi kayak yang untuk kesihatan nanti di hospital ke tempat-tempat di hospital lah, kayak hospital puno.
Perasaanku terima kad KGC dia kenyalang Golkar. Sangat berbangga leh kau ingin mesti dalam moda putih di peringkat kedua leh ti kau itu termasuk bayadapku tu KK Andrew biar suat tu nyar bokon mau gidang nanti. So aku ingin terima kasih nudu kerajaan negeri nudu ayu asua demuti demogi kademuti lah supaya untuk nyondu untuk akan diberi peluang lagi ni demi tiak to ataupun ni kebaikan to kelebihan yang pertahan do to atau dapat mitaleh dalam masa yang akan datang.
700,000 ringgit have been approved for upgrading works for the 2.2 kilometer stretch of road in Kampung Kakai, Selatan. According to the Bukit Semuja Assemblyman John Ilus, this is the second rural transformation project implemented in Kampung Kakai.
Jadi yang pada hari ini ialah untuk menaik taraf ini yang peruntukannya ialah sebanyak 500,000 daripada Majlis Daerah Syariah. Jadi sahabat saudara, seperti yang kita sudah maklum bahwa jarak yang akan di naik taraf ataupun di baik boleh ialah 2.200 meter. Jadi seandainya jumlah ini tidak mencukupi untuk kampung, kita juga telah melulus RPP sebanyak 200,000 untuk kampung Kakai pada tahun ini. Jadi kesemuanya ialah 500 tambah 200, jumlahnya ialah 700,000. Jadi sabar santai kampung Kakai.
Meanwhile, Ilus also urged the village locals to keep supporting the state government's initiative to ensure the continuation of development programs for the comfort of all.
The move to increase the Compound on Infectious Diseases Act violators requires further fine-tuning and amendments to Act 342. Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin has agreed with the Health Ministry on the matter as the government is looking at increasing the compound by at least 2 to 3 times. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister in his special address on Friday said the government is also looking at reducing the price of face masks with the intention to lighten the burden of the people. The Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs Ministry is currently in discussion with the manufacturers and suppliers of face masks. Malaysia will not bow to any claims for Sabah. Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin said Malaysia remains steadfast in its stand not to compromise on any issues pertaining to Sabah's sovereignty and will defend the state at all costs.
On the move by the Philippines to include the Sabah map in its international passport, Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin said Malaysia will unequivocally defend Sabah from claims that question its sovereignty. The government will fight to defend Sabah and will not let any attempt to pull Sabah out of Malaysia, and let there be no attempt by non-Malaysians to claim Sabah as part of their territory. On August 27, Deputy Foreign Minister Datuk Kamaruddin Jaafar said the proposal to include Sabah and 200 miles of Exclusive Economic Zone, or EEZ, in a map of the Philippines passport is not a new move. The matter was a proposal of a member of the Committee on Foreign Affairs of the Philippine House of Representatives to create a substitute bill to amend, replace, or abolish Philippines Passport Act 1999.
reopening the borders will be the last thing the federal government will consider on its fight against COVID-19. Senior Minister of Defense Dato Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob said this is to prevent new transmission in the country, whereas no country can be considered as COVID-19 green zone.
Ismail Sabri said the government had previously identified 6 COVID-19 green zone countries for conditional reopening of international borders, namely Singapore, Brunei, New Zealand, Japan, Australia and South Korea. But plans were put on hold after South Korea and Australia recorded a spike in new cases. He added the government has also considered allowing entry of foreign workers from Thailand and Indonesia. However, Health Director General Tan Sri Dr. Nur Hisham Abdullah has urged for the government to tighten the borders as there is a spike in new imported cases.
Chadwick Boseman has died from colon cancer on Friday. Boseman, best known for his turn in the blockbuster Marvel superhero Black Panther, had not publicly discussed his condition, which was first diagnosed in 2016, and continued to work on major Hollywood films. According to his representative, the 43-year-old actor died at his home in the Los Angeles area, with his wife and family by his side.
A statement by his family said Boseman was diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer in 2016 and battled with it these last 4 years as it progressed to stage 4. Boseman persevered through it all and brought many films fans have come to love. All were filmed during and between countless surgeries and chemotherapy. It was the honor of his career to bring King T'Challa to life in Black Panther. The family thanked fans for their love and prayers and asked for fans to respect their privacy during this difficult time.
That's all the news from me today. I'm John Chris. Till we meet again.